Today we are here to play. I have the black tarot in front of me. And I am setting the intention across all of time and space that this message be received by whoever needs to receive it. Am I talking too quiet? Probably. I'm so happy to be doing this. It's getting less and less scary. So what do we want to ask? Judgment. Spirit, what does this group, what does this group of people need to know today? Nine of Swords. What are you in your own head about? What are you saying to yourself? Something's been on your mind. I just feel like it's been a lot of chaos. And I feel like you're judging yourself and you're making yourself feel bad for it all. There's some demons, some trauma, some ancestral healing that you're navigating. Things are coming to the surface, but maybe it feels like it's driving you a little bit crazy. It's the interesting thing about our mental health. I think everyone does have the ability to connect with source energy and higher versions of themselves, lower versions of themselves. I think that everyone has a mind and an intuition, and it can feel like there's a lot of voices in your head. And when you open yourself up, the fact that it's not just the you that you thought you were all along, it's not just you. There's so much else. There's a piece of every other person on this planet, every other soul that's ever existed in you. And we spend so much time and energy just judging ourselves for having negative thoughts, for judging other people, for being worried. for feeling bad, for feeling good. Thoughts just keep ruminating in your head. I was just thinking about, you know, the memes you see that are like, oh, just sitting in bed, remembering that time I embarrassed myself in the 4th grade. Let that go. Or like, man, that person that was rude to me 2.5 days ago. I've had 108 conversations in my mind and I really got them on the run. What I would have said, you know, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Is there a flipped over card? There is a flipped over card. Okay, there's many flipped over cards. Do we want them? Will it tell a story? Sure. Sure. Ace of Swords, 3 of Wands, the Sun, the Fool, and the 3 of Pentacles. These cards are a little shadowy, a little dark, so, and I'm in a dark room, so apologies. I feel this as just super positive. The Ace of Swords, like cutting through all the stuff, cutting through it all, just cutting through it, you know, trimming the dead wood, I think might be the phrase. But it's like just getting rid of it and like starting fresh, starting new, being exactly who you are in this moment, accepting that. The 3 of Wands is like a card of in this deck, there's a path and it's like lit and it's like your path is laid out for you. So this clear information that's come in that says, hey, you are ready to take on this next journey, this next stage. The path is right there for you. And do you know what is there at the end of it? The Sun. Joy, love, abundance, like something that's noticed, something that's bright, something that is sustaining. It shows up every day. Shows up every day. Because that's just what it does. Every day. There's always a new dawn. And what do you get to do? You get to explore this journey with a childlike innocence. You get to be the new version of you. You get to leap into the unknown. Bring your dog. Bring your alligator. Bring your cat, whatever, you know, reach for the freaking moon, man. Just like do it. Just do it. Like follow this path. It's all going to be good. Three of Spheres. Three of Pentacles. Being recognized for your work. Building something with others. Something that others will enjoy being a part of. So it's almost like there's a gosh, you know what? I want to say instead of that, it's like, you know, this person's like on top and there's the person below. It's like, this is for you. There's going to be people there, but like, this is for you, right? The Ace of Swords came in for you. This was your path. The path was laid out for you. Sun sustaining. You get to leap and then you get to grow. This is for you. This is it's not for anyone else. It's for you. How nice is that? This is for you. Gosh, like, we can get in our own head about trying to do things for other people. I met, it's called Ribfest here in London. And there's a Christian tent, a prayer tent, if you will. And I met a pastor, and he was like, you know, can I pray for you? And I was like, absolutely. I'm not of the Christian religion, but I believe in the power of prayer and faith and love and spirit. And I was like, yeah, you can pray for me. And he was like, all right, what do you want me to pray over you about? And all I could think of was, what I'd want you to pray over my family and pray over others. Like, I just want more prayers for other people. And then I kind of had a moment where I was like, you're allowed to accept prayer. You're allowed to accept things for you. You are allowed to fill your own cup. And you are allowed to do things because you want to do them and not because there's an expectation of you, or you have an idea that unless you do something, the whole world's gonna crumble. It's not. You have to be responsible for you first. And I hear your mind saying, oh, but I have a child, I have a family, I have all of these things. Me too, sis, me too. And you are the creator, the Empress. You are the one that creates and births your world. But you have to be a home for yourself first before you can house another. So important. It's so important. You know, you hear people say, put the life mask on before you put it on another person, and it's so easy to be like, no, like I have to do it for someone else. It's like, no, you first. You first. When your world is good, the world around you is going to be good. When your cup is filled, it is going to overflow and fill the cups of other people. But those other people are responsible for filling their own cups. I just had the thought of like, well, children can't fill their own cups. And it's like, okay, yes, but I hear that, you know, as a parent of a 14-month-old, right? It's very challenging because they have a lot of needs. They have a lot of needs, and you really have to pee, or you haven't had water in 12 hours, but they're crying, and you need to tend to them, and that's absolutely. But when you get an opportunity to care for yourself, we ran out of garbage bags today. And so I made garbage piles, and there's 7 diapers just on the counter. I totally made food today. Just moved the diapers to the side. And he's sleeping now, and I should. I don't really like shoulds. I try to stay away from shoulds as much as I can. But I should be cleaning up, right? I should be taking care of the house and making sure that it's all cleaned and sanitized, and I'm gonna get to it. But I needed to do this. I needed to be here for me. I needed to fill my cup. I needed to put my creative energy out into the world. And it's the diapers are gonna be there. The garbage bags are still in the car. I gotta go get them. And then I can just put them in a garbage bag, and then it's all gonna be done, right? But it's so important that you take time and opportunities, and it may just be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 deep breaths. Just taking something to support yourself when you can. It's so important. Okay. Any last messages? Guess that's that. Justice. Justice for you, There's an eye with a giant tear, and there's the light and the dark in her hands. And it's justice for your shadow and the light. It's not easy to hold these two parts of you. It's like having these just at the thought of 2 kids that are just screaming at you. They both have needs. They both want to be heard. They're really struggling to come together and play together, and you're just in the middle of it, being oh my goodness, how do we find equanimity? How do we find balance? How do we find a solution? How do we find a solution so that both sides, both aspects can be seen, heard, validated, and held in high regard? Finding appreciation for your light and dark. There's so much wisdom in both sides. And it's so easy to just condemn and push down all the things that we think need to be in the shadows. But I just think it's time for those things to come to the surface, to be seen, to be heard. And it might be hard to face, right? It might be really hard to face. So take good care. Maybe some tears. Maybe some laughs. They say laughter is a good medicine. And when you're in grief and challenge, it's hard to muster up the feeling of laughter. I'm thinking of how like Hamlet is considered a comedy, right? So sometimes things up close can seem like a tragedy, but when you take a bigger lens, a bigger viewpoint, it's actually a comedy. So we'll leave it with that. Can you zoom out from your life? Zoom out from the sadness, the darkness, the tragedy, the grief. And can you find a way to see it as a comedy? Find a source, a well of laughter, and see how that shifts your perspective.